Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Smattering. I'm Jason Hall, and I am going to be talking about Pinterest today with my good friend, co-host Jeff Santoro. Jeff, you ready to talk some Pinterest?
I am. I think this is a really interesting company that is in my portfolio, so I'm happy to dive into it.
So you recently wrote an article that was published on Fool.com, the Motley Fool's website, which, by the way, is a partner with us. If you like what we're doing here and you're looking for great stock ideas, do us a favor and go to our link. You see it right here on the screen, fool.com/the smattering. Put in some information, and you're going to get the Fool's 10 best stocks to buy right now. If you like what we're doing, please check that out, and thanks. Jeff, the article that you wrote talked about Pinterest stocks well down. We know that, but talked about how Pinterest has a new CEO coming in, and you think the CEO that's coming in is going to be able to help do what?
So Bill Ready is the new CEO's name. He's coming to Pinterest with a background in e-commerce, right? And I think it's
coming from Alphabet, right? What's big at Google.
Yeah, exactly. And I think most investors who follow Pinterest know that they've sort of gotten to where they are based on user growth, monthly active users, and they've monetized them fairly well as well over the past many years. But I think the next step for Pinterest is going to be further monetizing those users and finding a way to make the site more shoppable. So one of the things that the CEO said on the conference call, which I thought was really interesting, was basically, for the first 20 years that the internet existed, people would go online to buy the thing they already knew they wanted from the site with the lowest price or the best shipping or whatever. And his idea is that is now shifting to be people go to the internet to shop, to window shop, right? So instead of walking through the mall to see what you might want to buy or down the street, people go to the internet to see what they might want to buy. And if that thesis is correct, Pinterest is pretty well positioned to be a place where that can happen because people come to Pinterest for inspiration and to get ideas. So if they can find a way to monetize that, that's going to help the business. And they're pretty well positioned with a good user base to sort of take advantage of that. And for the CEO and co-founder or founder of the company to realize I'm not the person to take that step and bring in someone who is, to me, is a bullish signal that says they have a pretty good opportunity here to capitalize on this secular tailwind.
I want to share some data here. I want to share a couple of charts here, Jeff, and let's talk about Pinterest, right? So here's the story. So if we look at Pinterest stock, basically before the pandemic and then through the pandemic, we saw the stock price absolutely skyrocket, right? Because people were stuck at home looking for stuff to do, and their partners and spouses were finding things that they wanted them to make or things they wanted to make for their home, right? And then, of course, we've seen the stock price absolutely crater from those highs, and it's down more than 70% now, and it was down around 80% at one point. And I think what's happening, if based on my understanding of the company, is, and how people perceive it, is Pinterest is still thought of as this company where people go for ideas about things to make. And it's been stuck in this kind of vacuum in between people, looking for stuff they want to make and people looking for ideas for things and then going from there to a buying decision. And right now, Pinterest doesn't monetize that as well as it could. Do I have that kind of right?
Yeah. So basically they want, if you're on Pinterest looking for inspiration, looking for ideas, and you come across something you want, they want to make it as easy and frictionless as possible to click and buy that thing right there. So that you're not leaving the app to go somewhere else to purchase it. But I think what's interesting about that chart you just showed is that meteoric rise, as you mentioned, when everyone was stuck at home, was due to them reporting user growth that was just absurd, right? Because if you're stuck at home, you're spending a lot of time on Pinterest, and that's monthly average users, and that helps our revenue per user and all that stuff. And then on the downside, it's been the opposite, right? Comparatively to that run up, the user numbers look like they're going in the other direction, right? They're losing users. But one thing that I dug into a little bit further is if you back out, yeah, right. So right there, okay. So that's from Q1 of 21 to Q1 of 22, right? A lot of
right. So
negative
basically,
numbers.
as the world has been opening up, the number of people actively using the platform has gone from crazy growth in prior years to now it's actually shrinking. Jeff?
Right. Yeah. But, with a lot of companies that went through these crazy ups and downs with the pandemic, I think you need to back up, because if you look from Q2 of 2016 through Q2 of 2022, they've grown monthly average users at a CAGR of 21.4%, right? So that's evening out the growth. And that's pretty strong growth. So I think investors were expecting too much growth as the stock was running up. And I think they're too pessimistic on future growth as the stock was coming back down. So I think if you kind of zoom out, the user growth concerns are not as bad as they appear. Now, yes, it's slowing growth, but again, spread it out, it doesn't look too bad. I do think they have to monetize better. And that's where I think the new CEO and taking things in that direction, combined with the fact that the stock is at the IPO price now, right? It's significantly cheaper than it ever has been, or right around the cheapest it's ever been, makes it a compelling stock to look at right now.